Back, we've got Lori Langley in the studio today, and she's showing us another one of her delicious recipes, this time for peanut butter poke cake. Good morning.
Yes, you know, this is kind of a classic. I don't know if it's a regional around here, but I really grew up with doing a lot of different kinds of poke cakes.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, something where we're going to add either a jello or a pudding, different types of things on top of that hot cake. So pretty basic, but so good. This one is kind of 3 steps or 3 layers to it. So we're going to start out very, very simple this morning, and you've got a couple options. We are going to do a chocolate cake base. You could absolutely do this with vanilla if you preferred, but you know, that peanut butter chocolate,
yes, classic.
You can't go wrong, right? So what I did was start out with just a normal chocolate cake. You can use whatever brand, whatever type that you want, and actually just did a cola cake. So we do a box of cake mix and a can of pop. Whatever kind of cola you prefer, Coke, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, it really doesn't matter, but you want to use a cola. And if you want to use a bigger bottle like I did, that's about 1.5 cups of liquid. And that's it. Don't add any eggs, don't add any oil, nothing else. Do not follow directions in this instance.
Follow Lori's instructions.
Follow my instructions. It will lead you astray every single time. But just that cake mix and cola will give you a really nice smooth batter. And then we're going to pour this into a regular 9x13 pan.
Perfect.
I actually did 3 boxes of cake mix to do 2 cakes because I wanted a little bit thicker amount of cake in there. So you're going to get a little bit thinner cake if you just go with the 1 box and the 1 can of pop, which is fine. It's just personal preference on that. So if you look at these when you go to bake it and you say, man, yours was taller in the pan, this is about 1.5 boxes actually when you go to do that. You're going to spray your pan like normal, pour that batter in there. It bakes at 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes. Again, depending on if you do the thinner cake, it's going to be a little less, of course. If you make a little bit thicker one, it's going to take a little bit longer, but you're going to do that classic toothpick test. When you think it's done, it's not jiggly in the middle anymore, check that and make sure it comes out clean. While the cake is warm, you can take the back of a wooden spoon. I've got one of these like really fat straws that I just always save and use. And you're gonna poke holes in that cake while it's nice and warm. Kind of evenly spaced, you know, just get a good distribution there. And then we are going to make, when we come back, a peanut butter sauce that we would pour on there. And it's really important that you do that while the cake is warm. And that's why I have a second one here that I did last night. Because it really kind of soaks into that cake while it's nice and warm.
Instead of just sitting there.
Exactly. It's going to be really good. And we're going to do this one. I'm going to show you how that sauce comes together. And we are going to put that on there. And it's still going to be so yummy. But you really get that extra sort of combination of flavors when you do it while the cake is warm.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we stick with the 9x13 normal size pan on that, and then we are going to have a wonderful frosting top layer as well, but nothing out of the ordinary. Use a regular pan or aluminum, and you're going to be good to go on this one. It's perfect for gifting or taking to those potlucks.
Incredible. I can't wait to see how this one comes together. Well, thank you so much, Lori. We're going to be right back. Welcome back. We've got Lori Langley in the studio, and she's showing us her recipe for peanut butter poke cake. Good morning.
Good morning.
It smells so good. I've just been saying that.
I know.
It smells so good.
Peanut butter is such a good way to start the morning. And this one is really simple. It's got a few steps to it, but nothing really complicated. So we started out, we just talked about making our basic chocolate cake, and you can do this according to the box directions. You can make your favorite scratch recipe, whatever makes you happy. We did a Coca-Cola simple chocolate cake this morning for the base here. Now we need to do layer 2, which is kind of a peanut butter sauce. And I've got 2/3 cup of peanut butter in my bowl. I've just kind of creamed that a little bit so that it's nice and smooth. You can use chunky peanut butter if you want, but honestly, the smooth works a little bit better just because over time the peanuts get a little soft when you use them in recipes like this. So if you're going to be making it and just like immediately serving it that night, use the chunky, whatever you like. But if it's going to set for maybe a day before you take it, go ahead and stick with the smooth. So we're going to add to this an entire can of sweetened condensed milk. Going to start to just work that together a little bit.
Very nice.
It's going to be really, really nice and smooth. And then we're going to add to that just a few tablespoons of milk. Now, when you look up the recipe later on KOAMnewsnow.com, you're going to find it says about 2 tablespoons. I actually added about twice that. I liked mine a little bit thinner to really pour and soak into that cake when it's nice and warm. So your judgment on that, whatever, but at least a couple tablespoons of milk just to thin that down a little bit. You're going to go very gently as you start to mix this together.
So you're not going hardcore with it.
No, we have to really use our patience. That's not my strong suit, but I try. And let that just slowly incorporate and get that peanut butter broken up. It just takes a couple seconds, a little bit extra time, and it's going to really be smooth and soft. So when we pull that chocolate cake directly out of the oven and just let it set for about 5 minutes on the counter, you're going to pour this over it while it is still nice and warm. And you can see we've got a lot of holes poked in the top of that. Most of us probably have made some type of a poke cake before, either with Jell-O or whatever type of topping in that really soaks in. So that's the purpose of that.
Oh,
so
and the seeds come together.
It comes together really, really easily, really quickly. It's a little hard to see. I've got all my stuff here set in here, but you can see it's going to pour nicely. So even though this cake is nice and cooled, it is still going to soak into that top.
Oh yeah.
And that little bit of extra milk in there does make it kind of go down into that a little bit more. So you're going to put that on there, pop that in the fridge for at least a couple hours, or overnight is even better. We're going to make sure we get it all the way out to the edges, and when we come back, we're going to make a peanut butter frosting for the top that's going to really set this off.
I'm so excited because, like I was telling you earlier, it smells just like a Reese's candy cup,
doesn't it?
And I'm like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be right back. Can't wait to see it. Well, welcome back. Lori Langley is showing us the final steps for this delicious looking peanut butter poke cake. I can't wait to see how this comes together.
So good. We did go ahead and kind of smooth out that peanut butter sauce on our chocolate cake there. You want to make sure you really get it into all of those crevices and all of those little holes we poked in there and all the way out to the corners. You don't want to have a piece that's not fully incorporated. So the last step for the topping is we're going to take about a cup of that smooth and creamy peanut butter, and then we are going to add to that an entire tub of whipped topping. And you can use whatever kind you want. I like to use the extra creamy or the extra rich in things like this because it's just a little bit next level.
Yeah, especially when it's kind of acting as that frosting, like you said.
Exactly. This is that third layer that just kind of cuts that chocolate and peanut butter. It's going to take just a minute for us to get that incorporated. You don't need to be gentle with this. This is not a fold in kind of a layer, so go to town with that. You really want that peanut butter to be well incorporated and mixed into the whipped topping. And then right before we get it totally done, we're going to add just a splash of vanilla because that just makes everything better. That teaspoon measurement from the lid. Again, we still haven't tested that theory, but that's
I know
the
some people with
loop.
vanilla just measure with their heart a little bit.
Absolutely. It actually is possible to get too much, but you can just make a nice little splash. And again, we're going to just make sure we really scrape that bowl well. We want this to be smooth, so just keep going with that until you lose those streaks of Cool Whip and you just see kind of a fluffy, really, really fluffy peanut butter. Almost looks like a cheesecake layer on top of that. So by letting this set in the fridge overnight, it's going to make it very easy to smooth this on, but it's also going to keep it separated. So when you cut this, you're going to see that cake layer, and then you're going to see that separation of the frosting or the Cool Whip on top. It's not going to melt into it the way that we wanted our first layer to do. So this is pretty incorporated, so
beautiful.
I'm going to bring this guy over here. We'll kind of spread it out a little bit, not put it all in one place. And then what really works well with things like this is an angled spatula. So if you don't have one of those, really do recommend that because it makes life a whole lot easier when you're spreading stuff like this out. Keeps your fingers out of the top and just makes it come off of there really nice and even. So we're just going to take that all the way out to the edges. And then, as if this is not enough, when I get done, I have got some chopped up Reese's peanut butter cups here and a little bit of chocolate sauce. As you know, I always like to make sure when you take these to places, nobody should look at this and wonder what's inside.
Be like, oh, it's a butterscotch cake,
right?
Or something
You
like
never
that.
know. So we're going to make sure they know there is peanut butter and chocolate and all of those yummy flavors together just by taking one look at the top.
It looks delicious. I can't wait to see this. You know, it already looks so pretty, and I know once we get those toppings on, it'll be just perfect. And I know I'm going to snag a slice before you leave. So.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much, Lori. We're going to be right back.